Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and this is a response video to a video I saw by Rob Walker over in the UK, where he picked 10 songs about famous people. I also saw, I don't know if he planned on it being a thread, but I saw Mike, the PC31, the Vinyl Policeman, do a response to this. And I'm going to do one too. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to do 10 famous people, but they're all going to be singers. And then I'm going to show an album by that person too. And so some of it will be CD, some of it will be vinyl, but there'll be a vinyl record on each category. If that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. Anyway, here we go. My first one is by the singer-songwriter Bill Callahan from his 2020 album Gold Record. Now you might know Bill Callahan from, previously was a group called Smog, which was really just him. And he kind of has that stark vocals reminiscent of Willard Grant Conspiracy, if you're familiar with them. But anyway, he's got a song on this album called Cooter. And of course, Cooter is the famous slide guitarist. This is his debut album from 1970. Just a great debut for Cooter. Just got that great slide guitar playing all over this. And so that's my first one, Cooter. Next, there's a group out of Memphis called Lucero. This is their album, All a Man Should Do. And it came out in 2015. They're kind of alternative rock, but they remind me more of 70s rock, to be honest. And just see the nice album here. But they have a song that's, I guess I'll have to open this up to show it, called Went Looking for Warren Zevon's Los Angeles. Of course, Warren Zevon did a lot of songs about the underside of Los Angeles. And this is his album, Excitable Boy, which came out in 1978. This was the second one after his great debut, Warren Zevon self-titled album. And this has his most famous song, Lawyers, Guns, and Money's on here, but Warrows of London is probably his most famous song. But this is a great album by Warren Zevon, talking about the underside of Los Angeles. The next is a singer-songwriter named Tom Russell, who was a favorite of David Letterman, as well as Warren Zevon was too. This is his album from, what does this came out? 2009, Blood and Candle Smoke by Tom Russell. And he's got a song on here, Nina Simone. I could have probably just used a bunch of Tom Russell songs because he does a lot of songs about famous people. But anyway, his song's called Nina Simone. Of course, Nina Simone's a great piano player and singer. This is her album, Pastel Blues. Nice cover. She does a version of Strange Fruit, made famous by Billie Holiday. But the best song on here, well, I consider the best song on here, is her version of Sinner Man is just excellent. So, Nina Simone. Next we have great country singer Waylon Jennings. This is his album, Dreaming My Dreams, from 1975. And he's got a song on here called Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way? But I'm not going to use that one. I'm using Bob Wills Is Still the King, about the great country swing artist Bob Wills. I know I've got a vinyl album of his, but I could not find it, so I'm going to have to settle for this CD compilation of the great Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. Next, I'm going to show a single by the saxophone player, Johnny Reno. And Johnny Reno has a song called Elvis in the Sky, talking about the great Elvis Presley. This is on the Tupelo label. And this came out in 1988. Johnny Reno at one time was with Stevie Ray Vaughan's Double Trouble. And of course, there's an album by Elvis from 1959, A Date with Elvis. And this is a great album as they picked 5 songs from his Sun sessions and put on here, including the great Good Rockin' Tonight, his version of the Roy Brown tune, which is important for another one coming up. And my next one is Cage the Elephant, kind of a hard-rocking alternative group. This album came out in 2009, and it's probably famous for the songs In One Ear or Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. But they also have a song on here, if I can find it, the second song on here, James Brown, the great godfather of soul. And this is his album Cold Sweat, which is a great tune that he does on here, Cold Sweat Part 1, Cold Sweat Part 2. But also on this great James Brown album from 1967, he does his version of Good Rockin' Tonight, the great tune by Roy Brown originally. Next, I have the Replacements album, Pleased to Meet Me, which is my favorite album by the Replacements since they experiment with a lot of different sounds for them. And on this album, they do a song for one of their idols, and that's Alex Chilton, the great lead singer of the Box Tops. He also led the power pop greats Big Star. And he also had an album called High Priest by him solo, which is really good. This is kind of a nice CD, is that it also includes the EP Feudalist Hearts on here. But the great Alex Chilton. All right. Next is Canadian artist Lydia Loveless, kind of called alt country, kind of a alt country version of the Pretenders maybe, because she rocks out pretty well. But I just did a review of this album on a CD exchange on Rich Strickler's channel, and I'll probably try to put a review down below if you're interested in Lydia Loveless. But she's got an album, a song on here called Chris Isaak, where she talks about somebody she used to sit in the basement and listen to Chris Isaak's Forever Blue album. But I'm not going to show that one. I'm going to show his self-titled album, Chris Isaak, which came out in 1986. It's got the great You Owe Me Some Kind of Love on there. That's a great album by Chris Isaak, his second album. Next, I'm going to show the great Texas singer-songwriter Guy Clark. This is his album Dublin Blues. Of course, Guy Clark has written a lot of songs that a lot of people have covered, like Johnny Cash and Steve Earle, and the Highwaymen did Desperados Waiting for a Train from him. But on this album, Dublin Blues, he does a song, Hank Williams Said It Best. The great Hank Williams, and of course, there's actually a lot of songs about Hank Williams I could use, but and this is just a very best of Hank Williams. There's also one that has like 40 songs, which I have on CD. Is probably the best compilation of his music. And the last one that I'm going to show is there's a group called Black 47. This is their album Home of the Brave. They're from New York City, kind of Celtic rock. They took their name from the Great Famine of 1847 in Ireland. And on this album, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well, they do a song, Who Killed Bobby Fuller? And the reason they said that is he died under very mysterious circumstances. He was found on his car outside his home. First it was ruled suicide, then they changed it to an accident from suffocation, from exhaust fumes, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff about it and kind of confusing, but anyway, Bobby Fuller This is a compilation, Best of Bobby Fuller. Best known for his hit Let Her Dance that he did, and his version of I Fought the Law was a huge hit. But the Bobby Fuller 4, and Black 47 had the song Who Killed Bobby Fuller. Anyway, that's my 10. Hope everyone's doing well. If anybody else wants to do this, I invite them to. I'll put Rob's original video down below, as well as the one I was mentioning earlier with Rich Strickler. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.